Hi, my name is Amy Weber. I am a clinical social worker and co founder of Speak, Learn, and Play here in Brooklyn. This month, we are talking all about curiosity. And today, I specifically want to talk about what is really going on beneath behavior. Thank you for being here. Let's start with a little honesty moment. Have you ever looked at your child in the middle of a meltdown or a refusal or a wild reaction and thought, where did that come from? If not, please tell me your secrets. Most of us were taught to look at behavior and think, how do I stop this? How do I fix this? How do I make this go away? But today, I want us to flip that script because every behavior, and I mean every single one, is actually telling us a story. That is a story about regulation, sensory input, emotions, or unmet needs. When we get curious instead of critical, we start to understand that story. And once we understand it, everything changes. So let's take a quick, compassionate look at the stress response system. What is happening in the brain when things get hard? Your child's brain has a built in alarm system. All of our brains do. But today we're talking about kids. The alarm system, its job is to keep us safe. When the brain senses stress, like loud noises, frustrating tasks, confusion, hunger, change, emotional overload, it flips into survival mode. And that can look like fight, which might look like yelling, hitting, arguing, flight, which might look like running away, refusing, avoiding, and freeze, shutting down, going quiet, completely zoning out. Here is the important part. When a child is in survival mode, their thinking brain goes offline. So they're not being stubborn. They are not being manipulative. They're not choosing chaos for fun. Their nervous system is saying, this is too much. Behavior is the body talking. This is something really important, especially for neurodivergent kids. Their brains often process the world differently in three big areas. The first is sensory, the second is cognitive thinking, and the third is emotional. Sensory differences might mean sounds feel louder to them, lights feel brighter, clothes feel scratchier, crowds feel overwhelming. So, what looks like overreacting might actually be sensory overload. Cognitive differences might look like transitions feeling harder, instructions feeling confusing, flexibility taking more effort. So, what looks like not listening might actually be a brain stuck trying to process. And emotional differences might mean feelings just feel bigger. It's harder to name emotions. It's harder to calm quickly. So, what looks like dramatic behavior might actually be a nervous system in overdrive. Same behavior, very different story underneath. So, why does curiosity decode and discipline alone doesn't? This is where curiosity becomes your superpower. When we only discipline behavior, we're treating the smoke, not the fire. Imagine a fire alarm is going off in your house. Would you yell at the alarm to stop being so loud? Or would you look for the fire? Please choose B. Behavior is the alarm. Curiosity helps us look for the fire. Instead of stop screaming, you could try, I wonder what feels overwhelming right now. Instead of you're just being difficult, you might try, I wonder what your body is trying to tell us. Curiosity does not mean no boundaries. It means understanding first, then teaching and guiding from a calmer place. And that is where real change happens. So, how can you be your child's behavior detective without blaming them? I like to tell parents, put on your detective hat, not your judge robe. Your job isn't to decide who's wrong. Your job is just to gather clues. Here are some great curiosity questions to start with. What was happening right before this behavior? Was there a sensory trigger? Was there a transition? Were they tired, hungry, overwhelmed, frustrated? Did something feel confusing or hard or unfair? Over time, you will notice that patterns start to pop up. You might notice, wow, transitions are mostly hard, or big crowds lead to big meltdowns, or homework time is just overload city. That's not failure. That is valuable information. And information helps you support better. So this is a big shift. We're moving from what's wrong to what's going on. And this is at the heart of today's message. When behavior happens, our brains want to ask, what is wrong with my child? But curiosity gently shifts it to, what's going on for my child? That one question lowers your stress. It builds connection between you and your child. It leads to better solutions, and it helps your child feel understood. And kids who feel understood regulate better over time. So here is a simple practice to try this week. Next time behavior shows up, pause and say, even if it's just in your head, I'm curious what this behavior is telling me. We want to look for regulation clues, sensory clues, and emotional clues. Not to fix everything instantly, just to try to understand. Understanding is the first step to change. So, here is what I want you to walk away with today. Every behavior tells a story. That is a story about a nervous system under stress, a story about sensory input, a story about feelings, a story about unmet needs. When we lead with curiosity instead of judgment, we stop fighting behavior. We start supporting the child underneath it. And that's where calmer days, stronger connection, and real growth begin. Thank you so much for being here with me today and for choosing curiosity with your kids. See you soon.